Hello YouTube, I'm Time Itself, and welcome to the third installment of my series on the Engineer's launchers. In this video, I'll be talking about the MBT LAW. It's the default rocket launcher for the Engineer. Understandably, it's the starting launcher because of its ease of use and versatility. However, those come at the cost of damage. To make up for that, the LAW's reloads are quite quick at only 3 seconds compared to 4 seconds for the small and 3.6 for the RPG. However, you don't start with any more rockets, so you'll often find yourself in a position where you have to come up with other, more creative ways to finish the job. I need to thank Labby over at Symthic.com and Captain Cookie Crisp on Reddit for some of the numbers that helped me along with this guide. Links are in the description. Going to follow roughly the same format as the RPG versus small video. So first up is helicopters. Attack and scout helicopters seem to vary quite a bit, doesn't seem to go over 40. Transport choppers are usually 15, but I've seen higher just based on where the rocket ends up hitting. The good news is that those are usually mobility hits, so in a random public server, you're often going to send the inexperienced pilot and his random passengers bailing out, and you will be able to neutralize the helicopter. Against experienced pilots who can deal with that mobility hit, it's just laughable. Against quad bikes and jet skis, 84 damage and a mobility hit, not too bad, but it's not the destroy of the RPG or SMAW. Also, unlike a lot of the other launchers, because of that lock-on where it pops up and then it comes down from the top, you get the same damage almost exactly every single time. And so it really doesn't matter which side you hit it on or what angle. So there's less to worry about, but there aren't the same rewards for good play. You can't take out a tank in 2 shots from the rear. It's still going to take all 5. But you also don't have to worry about doing 18 minimum damage with the SMAW. Trucks are a surprisingly low 28 damage, but that's also a mobility hit. Jeeps 42 damage, and the attack boat, the RCB, only 5. It seems that pretty much everything else, from the lowly inflatable rib boat to the AA to the LAV to the main battle tank, is 21 damage or 5 shots to kill. And so on all of those vehicles, you're not going to be getting any mobility hits unless they're coming from vehicle disables. Because of this, and because you're just going to slowly peck away at the health of the vehicle, cautious or defensive drivers can usually easily back up, get out of the way, get to a safe spot, and repair their vehicle before you're able to finish it off. And again, 5 hits to kill. You don't want to get into a solo fight against a piece of armor unless you have your normal complement of rockets. If you have less, they're just going to get out of there, repair, regenerate the health, and it won't matter. Okay, the 4th shot might be a disable and you just might bleed out from there, but in general, unless you're going to get all 5 shots into the tank, don't even bother. Just go find another engineer to help you out or find a support to resupply you. Let's talk about flight characteristics. The LAW has the highest top speed, almost twice that of the RPG, and they all have to accelerate up to speed, but once they get there, the LAW is easily the fastest. The LAW has the same gravity as the RPG, but mostly because it's just faster, it experiences less drop over distance, and in fact is zeroed for about 135 meters. You will very rarely have to worry about the drop of the LAW. In general, just aim for the top of your target. Now, let's talk about the most unique aspect of the LAW, that in-flight lock-on. It's pretty simple. Anything within 15 meters and 25 degrees gets locked onto, and it does its little attack thing where it comes down on it from the top. Assuming a stationary target, the LAW rocket would have to pass within 6 1/3 meters of your target in order to get that lock-on, except that full 6 1/3 meters is 15 meters in front of the missile. So let me make an addition to my distance and time graph and you see where the LAW's targeting range is. So that makes it super easy to get a hit, right? Well, it's easier than normal with an RPG or SMAW, but not quite that much. The lock-on point is what the AI is after, and it's usually roughly in the middle of the vehicle. That means you need to get within 6 1/3 meters of that lock-on point and not the edge of the vehicle model. For an extreme example of this, let's go ahead and shoot some rounds at the attack boat. I can fire a LAW rocket right over the bow of the boat. Nothing happens. It doesn't lock on. It doesn't get close enough to that center point. I can even get further in. It's a fairly big boat, so there's quite a bit of difference between where the lock-on point is and where the edge of the boat is. I can come out to the side, and it'll do exactly the same thing. It doesn't matter which way the boat is turned, because it's all about that one point in the middle. And of course, I can shoot over the top fairly easily. I just bring it down a little bit. I mean, the boat could be pointed up in the air and you get the same results. As I said earlier, it's normally 5 damage on the RCB, but there was 10 right there because I hit it without the assist of the lock-on in flight where it pops down from above. Either way, don't do this unless you're standing on an ammo bag like I am right now. But it's fairly easy to make happen because you can actually hit the front of the boat from the front without triggering the lock-on in flight thing. It's kind of crazy. My testing indicates that you don't get more damage for hitting armor directly. That's still 21 damage. Otherwise, deploying smoke as a tank would mean you could take more damage from the law, but that's not the case. One of the things that gets really annoying about the law is it'll pop up and hit something else, and suddenly you can't hit the vehicle. So instead of hitting your target, suddenly you'll hit the roof above it and get maybe 11 damage instead of 21. Or you'll think you're leading it, and instead it pulls around a corner, and instead of being a smart rocket and just hitting the vehicle, suddenly it goes after and hits something else. That's quite the pain. I mean, you feel like, oh, I had a great shot, but there was something else in the way that I couldn't control. Or if you don't see an unoccupied vehicle, that'll pull you off target. You're thinking, oh, I've got line of sight. This is perfect. It's got to hit my target. Nope, it gets pulled off some other direction. And it will, of course, target the emplaced guns, the 50 cals, the tow launchers. Yeah, it'll go for those, even when you really would never want to hit that unless there was an enemy on it, because it's pointed in the direction you want to use it in. It'll still go for those. I get the impression the law locks onto the location of the vehicle and not the vehicle itself, so maybe if you're going really fast, like in a Jeep or a quad bike, you might be able to get away from it. It's simply speculation at this point, though. So all these drawbacks to the law take it from being just a, yeah, go ahead and shoot it at the vehicle you want to destroy, it'll work, to something you have to be really mindful about when you use so that you actually end up hitting and then eventually destroying the vehicle you're going after. That's not to say that the targeting can't be useful. The law is actually really scary when you're using it as slightly indirect fire so that you shoot just around the cover and let the targeting take care of the last little bit so that the tank and his gunner can never actually directly see you so that their machine guns can't just shoot you in the face. Yeah, that's actually really cool. The law, much like the javelin, that I think I'll cover in my next launcher video, can lock onto laser-designated targets. However, it doesn't do any more damage in this mode. It already comes directly down from above on your target. So the laser designation is only really useful when you're going for completely indirect fire, or when you would just have a really hard time hitting your target anyway, like a helicopter flying around it pretty far out there. The range is also less than the javelin, only 350 meters, and you still have all the downsides of having to use laser-designated launchers, needing a recon to laser target, flares and smoke breaking the laser lock. Don't bother using it if you're going to hit the target anyway, but if it's there and you might miss, well then go ahead and lock on. If you're actually going to team up with someone and use the laser designation system, I would recommend the javelin over the law. A couple quick clips from the test range for you. Here I'm just testing again to see how far the lock-on range is, and it's kind of funny because I can aim at the wall below the Jeep and the assist will still pop it up. I'm going to step back to 200 meters, line things up though, and that was just over the top, and so I need to aim a little bit lower than that, and then I'll go ahead and get a hit. So again, a very, very little drop I have to worry about with this thing. Again, trying things from 310 meters, and this shot went over the top, and so I'll just lower it down just a little bit. It's funny, the travel time is the same as the reload time at this distance, right at 3 seconds. So to summarize, I think if you're taking advantage of the law's ability for slightly indirect fire, or its fast travel time so that you have to worry about less drop and leading your target less, then it's probably a reasonable choice. In just about every other situation though, where you have direct line of sight and aren't too far away, I would take my RPG or SMAW every day. Yes, the targeting assist does help a little bit, but when I miss, I'd like to know it's because I missed and not because the targeting AI did something crazy. Unless it's a weapon of last resort, I'd say lay down the law and pick up a more useful launcher instead. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found the information useful. There'll be some more links in the description with the best information that I've been able to find. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.